Hey, what's up, guys? Been a while, been a little bit of a while. Starting off, I'd like to thank you all so much for 200 subscribers. It came out of nowhere. I wasn't expecting it so fast. I feel like we just hit 12 the other day. It's really a lot of people, you know, I feel like I've been getting like quite a few views for like the little videos I've been making. You know, sometimes you see like the first few videos people put out, it's like 12 views, 8 views, but like, you know, this tier list stuff has been doing pretty well so far, and I do want to branch out to other stuff, so stay tuned for that. You don't want to miss out on that, guys. So let's just jump right into this right here. We're gonna be finishing up the 4-star weapons tier list. This is the last one I haven't done yet, and even though I waited like a little bit of a while and we're in like a new version update, I don't think there's new 4-star polearms, so didn't really affect it, so whatever. No harm, no foul, right? So starting off, we have the Deathmatch. Deathmatch is a very good weapon. We have attack and crit rate. It's pretty solid stuff. My phone just vibrated. I hope you guys did not hear that. But yeah, we have attack and crit rate as the main stat and the substat. Very solid stuff. And the effect reads: if there are at least 2 enemies nearby, attack and defense is increased by 16%. If there are less than 2 enemies nearby, attack is increased by 24%. I feel like the mic is not facing me. There we go. It's like I'm talking to someone, but it's just me in here. Me, Baron Bunny, and Hatsune Miku. So this is a pretty solid effect. They're enemies. If there's at least 1 enemy, you get a buff. If there's more than 1, you get a slightly smaller buff. You beat up all the enemies, eventually there's gonna be 1 left. But this makes it kind of cool, because whether you use it in a boss fight or clearing out hordes, it works either way. Pretty solid. Like, everything about it's really good. Crit substat issue is that you have to get it from the battle pass by paying for the premium battle pass, which is a little unreal. It's sad to hear. Like, this is an S tier weapon, but I have to put it in B tier because it's not accessible to some people. They physically cannot or are not able to pay for the game, so it's like they just lose out. It sucks, but what can you do? But it is a good weapon. If you do pay, if you paid a little bit too much, like yours truly, then bro, there's no point not to get it. Like, it's a pretty solid weapon. What I love about these battle pass weapons is like I like to refine them. Like I have an R5 serpent spine. I don't even use it. I just have it just in case I want to use it, and I don't think I ever will, but I have it. I have 2 like level 90 viridescent hunts. The second one's not R5 yet, but the first one is. And like, bro, you just be doing stuff. Like, things just happen, bro. It's handy to have just in case. Next up, we have the Blackcliff Polearm, or Blackcliff Pole. This is an attack and crit damage substat, and the effect reads: after defeating an enemy, attack is increased by 12% for 30 seconds. This effect has a maximum of 3 stacks, and the duration of each stack is independent of the others. This is another very good weapon. Crit damage substat. The more good you do, the better you do. It's like you just get like constant, just like appreciating value. You just keep beating enemies, you get a buff for it. It's beautiful. It's nice. The only issue is that you have to get this from the Starglitter exchange, and I think my opinion on the Starglitter exchange has changed a little bit, because usually I put this in B tier, but I think this is A tier, because I think the Blackcliff, I've really thought about it. Like, I've been meditating. I've been sitting under a waterfall without like breaking concentration in the slightest. I really considered it, and I think saving up some Starglitter for one of these is not the worst idea. However, I think if you were to refinement 5 it, that'd be a big issue. You definitely would make your mother cry if you did that. So please don't do that. However, if you were to just get one, if you're like a free-to-play player and you've been saving up like hellaciously, like just constantly just saving every penny you could possibly manage to scrounge up in the game of Genshin Impact, then you probably would have a Starglitter to just be like, hey man, like I got this really nice DPS, like I finally got Hu Tower or something, and definitely cannot afford the Staff of Homa, so saved up a couple of Starglitters for one of these. Like in theory, like the summons, like the summons you would use to get this, like the 5 summons or whatever equivalent value, you could technically probably get the Staff of Homa like off of pure luck, but not everyone's a gambling man or a woman. So I can see the appeal behind the Blackcliff weapons a little bit more now. I'm just not broke, so you know I don't need to worry about that. I have like 4-star characters I don't use wielding 5-star weapons, man. I'm just like that out here. Next up, we have the Royal Spear. This is within the similar family of the Blackcliff set, or Blackcliff weapons, except this one's worse. So the stats are attack and attack percent, significantly worse. Man, there's no crit substats. Like look at these beautifully designed black and red and white weapons, and then this is all beautifully designed but no crit substats. It's like, what's the point? And the effect reads: upon damaging an opponent, increases crit rate by 8%, max 5 stacks. A crit hit removes all stacks. This is not the worst, but certainly not worth what you're paying for it. For all those Stardust glitters that you work blood, sweat, and tears to get. It's just not a good enough payoff, because while it has no crit substat, the issue is that it has you get more and more crit rate. So you would technically want to build the character that's using this weapon with less crit rate because then you could focus on crit damage or other substats that are more important. However, if they have low crit rate, they're going to be critting a lot less. So even though you're going to crit every once in a while with this, because it's going to keep building up your chances, it's not going to be worth it, because you just won't be critting consistently as much as possible to get the maximum amount of damage. So those weapons fall short. Actually, very short. Now that I really think about it, you have no reason to ever get this weapon. The Blackcliff is just significantly, extremely better in every way. Like you literally get them in the same way, just on different months because they alternate in the shop. And this like you would play these both on DPS characters, and there's no reason why you would pick the Royal Spear, except maybe aesthetic, over the Blackcliff. It just won't happen. Next up, we have, I think it's the Kitain Cross Spear. Yeah, Kitain Cross Spear. This is a pretty good weapon. This is pretty solid stuff. So we'll start off by reading it. Main stat is attack. Secondary stat or substat is elemental mastery. Beautiful. This is like ever since Dendro came out, the elemental mastery stocks have gone way up through the roof. I feel like I've said that before in a previous video, but not enough people watch these videos to catch that, so I don't have to worry about that. And the effect reads: increases elemental scale damage by 6%. That sounds beautiful already. After elemental scale hits an opponent, the character loses 3 energy, but regenerates 3 energy every 2 seconds for the next 6 seconds. This effect can only occur once every 10 seconds. Can be triggered even when the character is not on the field. I believe there's like a whole like weapon series like about this. Like there's a Claymore, which is like pretty good on Beto if I remember correctly, but I think it has elemental mastery. And there's a katana, the Emino Gucci or something like that, which is good on Ayaka, which I leveled up all the way to 90 because I thought it was going to be the only weapon I used on her. And then I caved in and I got lucky, and I actually got the Mist Splitter and the Calamity Queller on her last rerun, along with Shenhe. So I leveled that up to 90. It took so many resources. Like I was building 4 characters at the same time, and like it's hell, dude. Don't ever do it. It's terrible. I'll make a video about that one day. But back to the Kitain Cross Spear. Another thing I really like about this weapon, it reminds me of the Cyan's Halberd from Dark Souls 2. Like, it's not like exactly alike, it's missing a little like curve or whatever, but it looks really similar and it's like really cool to me. But overall, this is a really solid weapon. I think it's an A tier weapon. And what makes it even cooler is that it's easy to get and it's easy to refine because it's a blacksmith weapon. You can get as many of them as you want as long as you have all the right ingredients. Maybe ingredients isn't the right word for a weapon, but if you have all the materials necessary, then you can get it. You can get it as many times as you want. And refine it, use it, and the Elemental Mastery substat. Absolutely, it's everything it does is absolutely gorgeous. Use an elemental skill. It's gonna do more. It's gonna do more damage. That's beautiful. You have Elemental Mastery, so it's gonna be great for reactions, whether this is on a support or DPS or whatever you're trying to go for, and it helps build up energy all at the same time. This is all around a very good weapon. Actually, I think I'll put it in S tier. And if you don't think otherwise, I would really like to hear, because in my little brain, there's no reason why it wouldn't be an S tier weapon. It seems like a really good weapon. I might go farm the materials and go make it just for the hell of it. Next up, we have a not so fun weapon, the Catch. The Catch, easy S tier, maybe even the best polearm in the free-to-play game. Maybe definitely the best 4-star polearm. I don't think we're getting anything better than this. I don't think we're getting anything better than this for a long time. The main stat is attack and the substat is energy recharge. And the effect reads, increases elemental burst damage by 16% and elemental burst crit rate by 6%. I might end the video right here. Like this, like it does absolutely so much for your burst DPS characters. Like it's just like it doesn't matter what character you're using it on. Like it is an energy recharge substat, even if you're just trying to just get more energy recharge to spam your burst more. Your burst will do more damage. So if it's on a DPS character, you're just gonna do stronger damage. Like, and it increases the crit rate for the burst. No one asked for that, but we're all gonna love it and appreciate it. That's absolutely beautifully gorgeous. Everything, it's like the festering desire, but for the burst. The festering desires for the skill. It is such a cool weapon. It does so much. It's completely free to play. It just takes it takes a bit of farming to get, but like you get such a good weapon out of it. Like just go do the farming. Just go do it. Like man, like go do it right now if you haven't done it yet. I don't care what you do. You could be at work listening to this in the background. I don't care. Go get it, man. Like at any point, any character that wields a polearm could use this. You could use it on Toma. You could use it on what's her name, Rosaria. Definitely you could use it on Raiden Shogun. You can get a Raiden Shogun. You know, you save up your gems or whatever, and then you can get this for free. And you have an extremely solid Raiden Shogun. You don't even have to spend on the engulfing lightning. You just gotta farm for the set or whatever, and you solid stuff. You could even like build this on like anyone. You could use it on what's her name. You use it on Zhang Ling. Like man, the options are limitless. Pick your pick. Very, very good weapon. Very free to play friendly. Thanks, MiHoYo. We will love and appreciate this weapon forever. I might even get like a body pillow of it and hug it every night. But I get too warm and I'm very particular about being hot when I sleep. Next up, we have the Lithic Spear. Main stat is attack. Substat is attack percent. And the effect reads, for every character in the party who hails from Leeway, the character who equips this weapon gains 7% attack increase and a 3% crit rate increase. This effect stacks up to 4 times. So if you have 4 characters from Leeway, this is, oh man, math. This is 28% attack and 12% crit rate increase. I don't think this weapon's that good, but I think if you manage to just randomly acquire it, I don't think it's that bad either. Like this is a This is a very like just B tier weapon. Like to be fair, there are quite a few leeway characters that are polearms. Not that they are polearms, that they wield polearms. There's Hu Tao, Zhongli, Zhao, Shenhe, Zhengling, Yunjin. Maybe one more that I can't think of. Maybe future ones, you know? There's just... So you could run this on any one of the... Not any one of those. You wouldn't run this on Yunjin. You probably wouldn't run it on Shenhe. You could run this on any of the DPS characters. And you free crit rate. Like, if you build a whole team with like a DPS Hu Tao... Well, you would build. You don't really have a choice in that. But if you build a whole team with your Hu Tao, who is a DPS character, and build it with a bunch of supports from characters from Leeway, that's pretty solid. You get 12% extra crit rate for free, and 28% attack increase for free. It's just a little weird. Like how would you go about like building like a great team? Like like who would you use? Like Hu Tao, Zhongli, Xingqiu, and then what? it gets a little weird. Like I can't think of it off the top of my head. I guess actually Azuha counts as a he counts as a leeway character, I believe. So I think you could actually use him like Swell Water. I don't know. It's off the top of my head, just brainstorming, thinking maybe there's a better team. Maybe this is meta or something. I don't know, man. But this one's actually possible, and it's pretty solid overall because of that. I'll put it in B tier, but I wouldn't go out of my way to use this, and I wouldn't go out of my way to build a team, because things just get very specific and gets a little weird. And like, even though you get a little bit of a boost, you might be using like characters you don't have builds, or characters that are maybe outclassed by other characters. Like I wouldn't want to use Xingqiu over Yelan, because you could also use Yelan. Yelan is from Leeway. But I wouldn't... Maybe you don't have Zhongli. Maybe your dedicated shielder's Diona or Noelle. It's like, bro, like, what are you gonna do? Like, things get a little awkward and get a little weird. So that's why I'm like a little iffy on this weapon. Next up, we have Dragon's Bane. One of the coolest weapon names out there. Bane of Dragons, is this polearm? That sounds absolutely gorgeous. That sounds phenomenal. You're out here slaying dragons. Or at least, you have the Bane of Dragons. The stats are attack and elemental mastery. And the effect reads, increases damage against enemies affected by Hydro or Pyro by 20%. This effect sucks. No, it doesn't suck. It's like alright. Like, this was, man, back in the day, there was like 3 polearms in the game. It was like this. No, there was like a regular amount. I think we still had like the Favonius. And then we had this, the Favonius, all the 3-star ones, the Skyward Spine, and the Primordial Jade Spear. And then we only had Jangling. Like it was like a weird time. We had like all these polearms that you couldn't really use unless you used Jangling, because she was like the only polearm character. And then we just got like a bunch out of nowhere. But this one's like weird. Like you have to specifically use it on, you know, your Pyro or your Hydro polearms, which is, there's a couple of. You could use this on a pretty solid free-to-play Hu Tao, I guess, if you build her with like elemental, with the elemental mastery off of like Melt or Vaporizer or whatever it is you crazy kids are running. And yeah, I could see that happening. But last I checked, the Bane of Dragons, you know, Dark Souls, you know, you're using lightning on dragons. So man, opportunity out here. However, it's a solid overall weapon. I can't knock it. If you were to be some free-to-play player, you just don't have anything better, this is a pretty decent option if you're running a Pyro Hydro DPS character. That's also, well, actually, Hydro, Pyro, DPS, whatever. You could also run this on a Hydro character in a Bloom team. Do we have a Hydro polearm user? We have Candace. You can run this with Candace. I don't remember if she's the only one, but you can run this with Candace and like a bloom team, which is pretty solid when she pops her ult, and like, you know, she gets a bunch of water application on her normal attack. Pretty solid stuff. You know, theorizing, throwing it out there, ideas into the world, you know. Next up, we have the Favonius Lance. I will forever put these in S tier. I don't care what anyone says. The Favonius set and the Sacrificial set, absolutely beautiful. So the Favonius Lance, not Rance. Lance reads, attack, energy recharge percent, and the skill is, or the effect or whatever. Crit hits have a 60% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which will regenerate 6 energy for the character. Can only occur once every 12 seconds. You get so much energy recharge, or so much energy back from the Favonius set. Absolutely incredible. I built a Geo team. I built like Mono Geo, but like very broke off brand version. And I have Yunjin with the Favonius Lance. I have Garo with the Favonius bow. And then I have Zhongli and Noelle. Team goes hard, bro. I don't care what any of you say. And like the issue I had with Noelle is that her energy recharge, or like her burst, that just it costed like 1,000 like elemental particles. Like, it was just unreal. The cooldown was like whatever. It's like it was pretty fine, but it just costed so much, and it was so hard to build up. But man, I run those two kids with the Favonius weapons, R5, and like they have such short cooldowns. You just throw out a little skill, get some particles in the air, switch to Noelle, and it's like that ult's coming back in like seconds. Like, so few rotations. I might even get a third one, put it on, or a second one, because I have 2. Yeah, I might even put my second one on Zhongli and just get more. Definitely not gonna do that as a joke. However, it's just such a solid weapon. It just does so much to build up like your burst for your entire party. Really good weapon. Really fun. It's just unreal seeing like so many elemental particles pull up from like the world when you like hit Yunjin's like parry or whatever. It's like, it's just so cool, man. It's like, I highly recommend using Favonius weapons on your supports. Really cool stuff. I can even see you using this on like Raiden Shogun for the energy recharge substat. If you don't want to go through all the hell to get a catch is extremely better on her, you can probably use this energy recharge. Actually, she doesn't have any she doesn't have any issue generating particles. So like, maybe if you have like a weird support Shogun, I guess, I don't know, but you could do it. Next up, you have I don't know why you have it. You probably played during 3.1. But next up, we're recovering the Missive Windspear. And the main stat is attack, substat is attack percent, and the effect reads, within 10 seconds after an elemental reaction is triggered, attack is increased by 12% and elemental mastery is increased by 48. I've gotta say, like, I've never actually read this weapon, but because it was from like an event, and it wasn't like that long ago of an event, but it was like the event overall was like pretty decent, but it was mainly nice for like story stuff and like background character lore, but nothing else I remember from it. Like serving customers or something like that. They had some like business thing. It was like weird. But I completely forgot that you got this from it. All I can remember is like Razor parents left wine. But this seems like a pretty solid weapon. When you trigger a reaction, you get an attack increase and an elemental mastery increase. So it seems like a pretty good DPS weapon, and it's from an event, so you can R5 it. You either have it R5'd or you don't have it. If I see a world where someone has like an R3 like event weapon, like how it really baffles my mind. Like, I've never seen it. Hopefully I never will see it. Like, maybe you just like, you know, refinement 3'd it, and then just kept the other 2 and like your refinement 4 it, and then kept the last one because you didn't want to refinement 5 it because you didn't want to miss out on the refinement materials because they're special, like event weapons. You want to keep it in your inventory at all times. You can do that. Whatever, live your life, man. But I still wouldn't, even if I don't use this as refinement 5 it. But this is a pretty solid weapon for your DPS character. You get elemental mastery increase and attack. You can put this on any Dendro. You can put this on like Yao Yao or whatever her name is, or water character, hydro characters, or electro characters, whatever, and trigger a bunch of reactions. Like, there's definitely better options. This is free. It's completely free. That's what's cool about event weapons, is that you just gotta play, and you get other stuff for it too. To play this event, you get gems, primal gems, Mora, books, and the like enchantment ore. And you get this on top of all that, which you were gonna get anyway. So you can't really knock it. Solid weapon if you have it. This is like a newer one. There's probably more of you that have this than something like the Festering Desire. So you've probably got this sitting around. Maybe give it a try. Next up, we have the Dragonspine Spear. Now, even though it has the name of Dragonspine, it's a little underwhelming. The main status attack and the substat is physical damage, and the effect reads: hitting an enemy with normal and charged attacks has a 60% chance of forming and dropping an Everfrost icicle above them, dealing 80% AoE attack damage. Enemies affected by cryo are dealt 200% attack damage. Can only occur once every 10 seconds. So the thing about this weapon, I thought about this, and the thing about this and the Snow Tombed Star Silver or whatever it is, the issue with these two weapons is that you got to play them on like a physical cryo character at like all times, and it's like the other one has Eula, so it works. Like, hey man, like it's as perfect as it gets. This one has like Rosaria, but Rosaria has like you could play her as a DPS. I do. I don't play this. I used to back in like the day, but now she's rocking the Staff of Homa as she should. But this is like a solid free to play option. But then you got to build around her. It's like the main DPS is a physical DPS, which works for her. But there are other ways you want to build her, and you probably want to build it with as much crit rate as possible. Or I don't remember if it's Constellation or if it's the buff or whatever, but she buffs like crit rate. So it's like, man, do you really want to go with this? Or do you want to go with that? And like it's just not. It just doesn't work out as much. Like, yeah, you can get some extra damage. It's all nice and cool and beautiful, but it's free, so I can't really completely knock it. This is like bottom of B tier. It's hard not to put in, I think I'll put it in C tier, because it's like you would only make this for like, I think you had to do it in like a quest. Yeah, because you have to do it in a quest. So you have to do it, and the tree that you can level up in and get rewards in Dragonspine gives you like a polearm blueprint or whatever for free, so that you can make this or whatever it was. There's some like way of getting it, because like you had to do something, whatever the case was, because they weren't gonna make you like farm for this, like to get the polearm thing back in the day. Like, that's like, man, getting those blacksmith, like it was like, damn, I forgot the name of it, but it's like, you know like the things you have to give into the blacksmith with the materials to make like weapons. Like, I have like billions of them now. Like, I don't worry about them, but back in the day, man, they were extremely hard to get. You had to fight like Dvalin and hope he drops it and stuff like that. And then like world bosses too, but even then, like that wasn't happening. But this is like it just doesn't have like a proper home. I don't think, it's not like insane. Like, if you're playing some free to play at Rosaria, yeah, you can rock it. I can see it, but other than that, man, I can't see it happening. I can't see like people wearing it. People using it, fighting with it. Next up, we have the Wavebreaker's Fin. This is attack and attack percent, and the effect reads, for every point of the entire party's combined maximum energy capacity, the elemental burst damage of the character equipping this weapon is increased by 0.12%. A maximum of 40% increased elemental burst damage can be achieved this way. I think there was a Claymore that had a very similar effect. I didn't realize that it was part of like a family. I thought it was just like a one-off, just random guy. But I guess most of the weapons are like part of a family of some kind. Even like the battle pass weapons, they're all like crit rate, but they all have like different effects. Well, maybe it's not quite. Whatever. Anyways, this doesn't seem like that insane of a weapon, but it doesn't seem like that bad of a weapon either. Like if you run it on a team of characters with like just very high energy cost or whatever it was, energy capacity, whoa, then you get like some crazy like insane damages along on your burst, but like catches free and like increases your burst damage. So like this is completely outclassed by the catch, and that's all it really does. It just increases like your burst damage under like some weird conditions. Like off the top of my head, I can't tell you any character's energy capacity. I've never looked into that. I just man, it either fills up fast or it doesn't. Like it just doesn't. I don't worry about that. It's just too much to worry about. There's enough you have to worry about when you're building your characters. I'm not gonna sit here and sweat like, oh my god, like man, why is this? He needs so much energy. And like, man, he gets his his burst or he doesn't. Man, like, I'm not sweating it out here. So like, this just requires so much like, weird building. I don't know if it's really worth it, but I'm gonna put it in C tier, strictly because the catch it's just so much better than it. If you really cared about your burst damage going up that much significantly, run the catch with like 2 police, no police, and like, you know, life's a lot simpler that way. You have a little bit more variety. Like, not really. You'd have to run like something else 2-piece or just go full on noblesse, which still wouldn't be that bad if you mainly care about your burst. But like with this, it's like, what do you even run it with? Like you can run this with the noblesse and get like some crazy numbers with your elemental burst under some like tricky conditions. I don't know if this is that good. Maybe there's some crazy like insane like high damage outputs you can do with it. I don't see it. Maybe you guys are aware. Maybe there's some meme video I didn't see that's like, oh man, no, this is like quadruple S tier or something. But it's all Greek to me, so we'll be moving on. Next up, we have the Moonpiercer. This is part of a whole set with the Dendro stuff. So this is a blacksmith weapon. It can be forged after doing like the R&R quest or whatever it was. Main stat is attack, and the substat is elemental mastery, and the effect reads, we're in for a long one here, boys. After triggering burning, quicken, aggravate, spread, bloom, hyperbloom, or burgeon, a leaf of revival will be created around the character for a maximum of 10 seconds. When picked up, the leaf will grant the character 16% attack for 12 seconds. Only one leaf can be generated this way every 20 seconds. This effect can still be triggered if the character is not on the field. This gives an attack increase. I thought the other ones give like elemental mastery, if I remember correctly. This is horrendous. I think I'm gonna cry. Hearing that really broke my heart in ways I cannot describe to you. Wow. I was like so ready to put this in A tier, but it's still not that bad. I think it's still like a B tier weapon. I think it's higher than like these guys. This is still good for your this is like better than the Dragon's Bane. Completely blows it out of the water. Actually, I didn't even know that this was a thing. You can make this with a blacksmith too. I think the Dragon's Bane is knocked down. No, Dragon's Bane's knocked down the C tier. This you get elemental mastery. Maybe like the stats aren't as high or something. I'm not really sure of the case. Maybe this is more elemental mastery or something. But whatever. Like this gives you This gives you what's it called? This gives you a little boost. This is like very specific to like your Hydro and Pyro characters. This is like you just gotta trigger a reaction. There's so many reactions you can trigger. It's like it's like all these Dendro related reactions. You don't even have to play this on a Dendro character. You can play it on like water, fire, electric. This is all around. I think it's better than this. Pretty solid, even though you just get an attack boost. Because the other ones give you like elemental mastery, which helps more with like, you know, your reactions and everything. But attack's solid too, man. Can't really knock that. Moving on. Next up, we have the Crescent Pike. The main stat is attack, and the substat is physical damage. The effect reads, after picking up an elemental orb / particle, normal and charge attacks deal an additional 20% attack damage for 5 seconds. And you can forge this at the blacksmith and really refine that. However, this is a strange weapon. I don't really think it's that good. I don't think you can really use this on anyone. Maybe way back in the day you can use this on someone and like be alright with it, but like I think it's a D tier weapon. Like you have to take the time to refine it to 5 to really get the you know, as much like to get some like really crazy like normal and charge attacks like damage bonuses. But you have to pick up an elemental orb or particle, so you might have to trigger it with some other character, maybe this character if they're a physical character. But then like it's physical damage. It's like the numbers are kind of low. It's just not like who's gonna use this? like who there's just no character. I wouldn't even run this on my Rosaria. The Dragonspine Spear is free as well. So you can make them both at the blacksmith. Dragonspine Spear is like more annoying to farm for because you gotta get those like bangs or whatever, the teeth, which is like a little tricky and whacked. But like I definitely run this over this. Like this is like I remember I played it on someone way back in the day. I think it was like Lee or something actually, and like I was thoroughly disappointed. Like this did absolutely nothing, and like yeah, he's not really a physical damage character. You could build physical damage on Lee, and like his attacks are just really cool. His attack pattern is extremely cool, so you know it can happen. You can really do it. I've seen some too. However, it's just like it just doesn't help. Like you got to trigger the particles, and he's just running around, and it's like. It adds so much stress for not enough payoff. And like you get to pick up an orb or a particle, and it's like, oh, you're building up your burst on a physical character who's probably gonna do like an elemental burst. Like what are you what are you hoping to accomplish? It seems like it's just such a weird like dichotomy of things. Like I really don't like it. I really don't know why. I have this like disdain. Just looking at it like irritates me. Maybe it's not D tier, but maybe I'm just tripping. But like it's just like saying the name and talking about it left a very bad taste in my mouth, and that like irritates me on levels I can't like begin to describe to you. Next up, we have the prototype Starglitter. The main stat is attack, the substat is energy recharge percent, and the effect is after using an elemental skill, increases normal and charge attack damage by 8% for 12 seconds and has a maximum of 2 stacks. This is a pretty solid weapon right here. It's just a little weird that it has energy recharge as a substat. And like it makes it a little strange because like it's got a very DPS like effect. It's got energy recharge, so it's like, funnily enough, like you can technically use this on Raiden Shogun, but like when you use her burst, like it doesn't count as, I don't think it counts as like normal and charge attacks. So it's like, I think it counts as burst still. So it's like weird. It's kind of whack. However, you can refinement 5 this pretty easily. Actually, oof, I almost made a huge mistake. I was gonna say this is like a pretty decent weapon, but it's kind of less than decent. Like the Crescent Pike and the prototype, like they're part of like the early stuff you can make from the blacksmith like in the beginning of the game, like when you used to go to like the homie Swagner and Mondstadt and craft weapons. Most of them are pretty bad because they're like, you know, they're free to play weapons. So it's like, you can't really make them that good, you know, because then it's like people won't spend their hard-earned money on pixels, you know. So it's like, but like some of the ones we got from like Inazuma, very solid weapons. And then Sumeru, we got some pretty decent stuff. And then like the fishing association, some pretty solid stuff. So these earlier like Mondstadt, like Leeway, like weapons are just not that good. Not that like worth it. Like they just don't cut it. But this one's like decent. I put it top of C tier. Still wouldn't recommend it. Maybe if you're like an extremely unlucky free-to-play player, this would be decent. I wouldn't even know who to run it on. For energy recharge, you use a skill and you increase their normal and charge attack. Like it's a little all over the place. I can't even yeah, like who would benefit from this? Like I'd say Hu Tao, but like what is she gonna do with energy recharge? Like it doesn't compute. It doesn't fit. So like it's just got like a weird mix of stats. Maybe if things were more leveled out, you know, it would be somewhere. But that's gonna be it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for 200 subs again. I think we're a little bit past 200, maybe like 201, 202, which is still very kind of you guys. I appreciate the work I've put in, the effort, and all that nonsense. But it really is very touching to see that number and see it like slowly grow. Like every few days, get notifications from like comments and stuff like that. It's really uplifting throughout the days and the life of like, you know, fighting off chaos and all that, and like slaying dragons, you know. But yeah, you know, I have some cool videos, cool video ideas. I have to like work out, and I'm trying to record right now. Maybe not right now because it's like 1 a.m. and I'm so tired. I'm so upset that I like stayed up so late. But yeah, be sure to subscribe. Check out the other tier lists that are popped up on screen, and stay tuned for what we have coming up. Thank you guys for watching.